guys, looks like we are live. This is my first time coming live on YouTube, funny or not, because I've been doing live stream on Rumble actually for the past week, but today I decided to do live stream on YouTube as well because there are huge news breaking literally just a few hours ago. So there are like tariffs still being done between the US and Japan, and that trigger a major pump in the crypto market. Like Bitcoin pump a little bit, like 119K, but like Ethereum is taking the shine close to 4,000 when I woke up this morning in Asia. So we're going to look at what's going on. We're going to look at the chart. And also there's like new buy from SharpLink, which is an like Ethereum treasury play. We talk about that in our previous video on Jam Crypto. So if you guys haven't watched that and if you want more information, like how it works, make sure you catch that video as well. And then lastly, which is another breaking news. Well, there's so much breaking news this week or today. That's why I'm going on live on YouTube. Well, the last one we're going to cover is the White House crypto report. So is it going to be like a game changer? Is the US really going to do a crypto like strategic reserve? Or it's more like a nothing burger, like buy the rumor, sell the news event? We don't know, but we're going to dive in. So first, like, okay, let me know if you can see my screen. All right, so let's look at the Bitcoin chart first, because that's how I like to open my show. So Bitcoin, as I mentioned, is still hovering around, and we are really building up that momentum around this box, so around 120K, and we have huge support at 116K. So I would say, like, as long as Bitcoin still staying inside that region for a while and really build up that momentum, it's actually very beneficial for altcoins. Ethereum be one of them, of course. We're going to look at the chart of Ethereum, but like what I would like to see is to Bitcoin basically not doing much, trading sideways. Then that will be very beneficial for our altcoin bags, or particularly our Ethereum bags. But of course, we still want Bitcoin to reach that new all-time high. Like right here is going to be like moon territory, 130K. I would like to get there like in a month or something, but I wish we could like take some time, trade sideline within like this region, this little box that I just drew. All right, so 130K is going to be like a psychological number I really want to get to. But if Bitcoin like really breaking new all-time high, what's more important is that for Bitcoin against Euro to break a new all-time high. Because the funny thing is, despite Bitcoin got a new all-time high for USD value terms, so 123K. If you take a look at the BTC versus Euro, Bitcoin is still below its previous all-time high. So if we were to break that, if you go back to BTC against USD, if we were to break a new all-time high, I would like to see Bitcoin actually break above the previous 106K euro dollars. Otherwise, we're gonna trade sideline. I don't think we're gonna break new all-time high if we don't see that on the Euro chart. So that's for Bitcoin. As for Ethereum, let's look at Ethereum versus BTC. Like Ethereum versus BTC is like really strong. Look at these candles. We are on the daily chart. So basically from here to here, so it's just 17 days, we pump 32% against BTC. So BTC is a little bit like bleeding against ETH, if you put it that way. So that's what I like to see. And we're really turning that support of 0.029 into like, first of all, we were trading about below this as resistance. Now we're turning that into a support line. So that's what I like to see. And then let's also look at the ETH and USD. Well, again, like we have a new floor region around 2600 to 2800. So if Ethereum dropped into this region, that's a major buy for me. Like, mark my word for it, but not that I'm saying it will drop to that level anytime soon, because like we have built so much support, like, and we have another support around 3,300. So Ethereum is looking really strong, and but 4,000 is still a psychological number. So yeah, if you look at the previous all-time high in the previous cycle, where we at compared to the all-time high, it's just like 24% pump. That's nothing for Ethereum. Like, we can get that very soon. So that's for the charts. Charts analysis. Let's also look at the news of today. What's going on in the past 2 days? Because like, well, I cover a little bit on Rumble. It's my first time on YouTube, so let me know if this format is working out for the YouTube folks. All right, so first breaking news is that Trump got a new deal with the EU. And then basically the details is that EU is going to pay 15% tariffs to the US. So at the same time, the EU has also agreed to purchase $750 billion worth of energy from the US, as well as invest an additional $600 billion. The initial 30% tariffs is gone. Like on that was like a month ago. Donald Trump threatened EU to charge like at least 30%. I believe it was 30 to 50% tariff rate on most goods, but right now it's gone because of this deal. And aside that, for steel and aluminium, it will still be 50% tariff rate. So although the EU will invest this amount, like this much billions dollars into the US, Trump said he would not lower the tariffs any further than 15%. So that's done. That's being done by Donald Trump. So, well, he's a really good person to negotiate stuff like this. He's taking billions into the US. Well, he's definitely someone, I would say. So based on just like this EU tariffs deal alone, there will be at least $90 billion, at 90 billion like estimated US revenue from this tariffs alone. So that's pretty good. Like, some people thought, like myself included, because Donald Trump has been delaying this tariff deal so much. It started in like May, like late May. So Trump delayed the 50% tariffs to July. And then in July, there's like a threat. So going to issue a 30% tariff. So from 50% to 30%, unless a deal is being done. And that was like a deadline on 1st of August. So this deal literally just came a few hours ago. They made it before the deadline. So that's really great news for the market. So the market took it really well. Like, if you look at Europe, like the Euro rally, the Euro currency rally, so as the European stocks surged, and also some risk on assets like Bitcoin got a little pump, so as Ethereum is like close to 4,000, which is really good. But the ultimate winner from this news is actually BNB. BNB right now is sitting at $853. So wow, that's props to BNB. I feel like BNB is doing a lot of stuff and then quietly breaking new all-time highs without too many people, too much traction talking about this. So I definitely want to give BNB more credit. And BNB flipped Solana this morning because of this news, broke new all-time high. I feel like Solana and BNB are always fighting for that number 5 spot. So, well, I hold more Solana. I do hold both of them, but like my bigger bags are in Solana. So my is full disclosure. I hold most of my crypto in Bitcoin, JLP. That's another one I really like because it's a basket of currency. It's included like stablecoin, BTC, ETH, and whenever any users trade on Jupiter, because people like to take on leverage and take on take on more risk for no reason, right? So if people trade on Jupiter Exchange and then they lost money, that's actually contribute to that JLP pool. So that's why I love holding JLP. So my biggest holding right now is BTC, JLP, Ethereum, and then fourth one is Solana. So Solana is still flat mostly. Like if you go to 7 days, only 0.8%. But like we always talk about alt season. So when alt season happen, first of all, we'll see like Bitcoin dominance drop so much to a like, I don't know, like 50% or 40%. We have seen 40% before. So that's like one thing, one sign. And then funds will first flow out from Bitcoin to Ethereum. That's what we're seeing. So we're at the cycle number 2. And once Ethereum has taken all the shine, has done with the rally, then money gonna flow into altcoins. So maybe BNB is like another really early sign. I do expect Solana will follow suit, but yeah, it is what it is. It is bullish because of this Trump Trump news and Trump deal between US and Europe. Sorry about my voice. But like some people are still not so happy with this deal, I have to say. Because like some goods like French cosmetics are no longer duty-free for Americans. So like prices are likely going to rise for US buyers. And for the EU point of view, some people are happy, some people are not. Because, well, the pro side is that they dodged a bullet, basically. A 30 to 50% tariffs, but now lower to 15%. But like the downside is that there's still a group of people not happy with 15%. Like, oh, why should European pay so much to Americans? Some people don't think that's fair. But anyways, because this is a deal is a deal, and we no longer have uncertainty in the market, which is great. And if you also take a look at the realized cap for Bitcoin market, Bitcoin hit like a record never before, so $1 trillion for the first time. And this means investor confidence is really high. The macro risk is a lot lower compared to just like a few weeks ago. So the past week, we got another deal between Japan and US. And then obviously today we have US between Europe. So that's good stuff. Like investor confidence is rising. And also, like tariff stability means no more trade war, no more panic. Of course, there's still deals being made to different major countries as well, but like at least like the EU, European countries, the EU. There are like 20-something countries, as I remember. So it's a pretty big deal. That's why people like it. And remember, the markets don't like confusion. We don't like uncertainty. And if the market think, okay, this is more safe, more certain, institutional money gonna flow into the Bitcoin market or the crypto market, altcoins market, a lot more easier because TradFi money, at the end of the day, they're traditional, so they don't want any surprises. They want less chaos. So having this deal, like they have a ease in mind. So that's beneficial for the price overall. Moving on to the next news I have prepared is SharpLink Gaming. They buy another $295 million in Ethereum, pushing total holdings over 438,000 ETH. That's a lot of ETH. So What's going on? This company is actually backed by Joseph Lubin, which is the co-founder of Ethereum, adding this much, like $295 million worth of Ethereum. And then there's also a NASDAQ listed firm. The ticker symbol SBET currently holds, well, I actually like to use this website instead, so Strategic Ethereum Reserve. So right now they hold, where is it not updated? Well, let's use the news instead then. So right now they hold 438,000 ETH, close to what Bitmine owns right now. And then the funny thing is, a lot of that they bought directly from the Ethereum Foundation. Like with this much Ethereum, they're bigger than the Ethereum Foundation. Well, so if you need like more context, like detail breakdown, the timeline, etc. So on the 1st of July, they bought like 9,000 ETH at 2,400, and then on 8th of July, they bought another 7,000 ETH at 2,500. So that's on 11th of July, bought 10,000 ETH directly from the Ethereum Foundation. And then so as 15th of July, went all in with $156 million to buy ETH at 2,800. And then finally, we have this massive buy of $258 million worth of ETH at $3,200. And what's interesting is that out of the Ethereum that they hold, so 438,000 Ethereum, most of that is staked, which is pretty bullish. What does that mean? That means there wouldn't be so much selling pressure on the market, right? And then how are they funding this? Like some people will ask, like, why there's like a flood of Ethereum treasury companies all of a sudden. Well, they're actually, so SharpLink, they are selling their own stock through ATM or at the market program. They raised 24 million late June, so just last month, then raised 430 million in mid-July by selling over 24 million shares. So why are these like companies, like all these Ethereum treasury company all of a sudden getting in? Let's go to the filter and go to treasury. So there are 12 Ethereum treasury companies, and I read it on Twitter. There'll be even more companies joining that list. So they're almost taking the play from Michael's strategy, in other words. So why are companies all of a sudden doing this? That comes down to like a few major reasons, like 4 major reasons. So the first one is diversification. These companies want to diverse and start treating Ethereum like a digital reserve asset. And that makes sense because at the end of the day, they are companies. They have a more traditional mindset. They don't want to put all bags in one basket, right? So it makes sense if some of them want to diversify. And another reason is for inflation hedge, because like if you go back to the chart, like Ethereum is nailing against Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is bleeding against Ethereum. So that's something. Maybe that's another reason why these treasury companies all of a sudden are getting in. And then the third major reason, like traditional companies love so much, is staking rewards. Like SharpLink earned more than 500 ETH just like since June or something. And then fourth one is that Ethereum, like compared to Bitcoin, it has a lot more utility. Like you can do stuff on the Ethereum network. Maybe it's NFT. Some people, if you're into that shit, I don't know why. So NFT or DeFi is more like the thing that I would like. I know there will be. I know there was NFT treasury company. I talked about that in my previous stream. So I'm not sold. I'm not a big fan for that. But it is what it is. So folks are saying, is this a bubble? Because if you look at SharpLink Gaming, well, it's down if you look at the one day chart. But if you go to the year-to-date chart, SharpLink is up 172%. That's like a lot of gain, just turning the company into Ethereum treasury company. So SharpLink originally in sports betting tech, and then because they saw like a 24% like year-on-year revenue drop in March 2025 and reported in net loss. So there's other companies on this list actually. So Bitmine, originally just like involved in Bitcoin mining, also reported a net loss in early 2025. So quite similar to the MicroStrategy situation, if you say, because MicroStrategy start like putting Bitcoin on the balance sheet in 2020. The reason why Michael Saylor would do this because he saw like the revenue, like a drop in revenue from the software business. So that's why he came up with this idea, and he did some research and really into Bitcoin. So he was the one who like basically trigger like the leader of treasury companies trend. So yeah, and then some of these companies are raising money through equity financing. So as I mentioned, SharpLink raised 425 million via private placement, like selling shares, basically, in other words. And then so is Bitmine. Bitmine raised 250 million similarly. And then BTCS is use stock sales and convertible notes. If you want to know what convertible notes is, I'll advise you to watch my previous MicroStrategy video on Gemdream Crypto. It's on Gemdream Crypto YouTube, and I'll also upload. That reminds me, I have to upload that video on Rumble as well. Yeah, and some of them like BTCS use convertible notes and borrowing from Aave actually, like so DeFi. Some of these companies didn't take that, but BTCS did apparently. So if you connect the dots, like there's like a huge direct demand, like buying $258 million worth of Ethereum. That's huge upside pressure. Like, of course, it's not going to reflect on the chart like this, because like for a company to buy that much ETH is going to be through OTC. So if they buy that much amount of Ethereum of an exchange, then the price is going to keep rising for the company. So no companies would want to do that. That's why it's not reflected on the charts. And then also, most of the Ethereum is staked, so that directly reduces the circulating supply. Institutions are feeling the FOMO. We have Tom Lee shilling Ethereum basically every single day on CNBC. So this validation isn't random. And by the way, like I mentioned, right, like the SharpLink company is tied to the Ethereum co-founder Joseph Lubin. So this is huge validation. And if you also go over to where is that? CME futures. That's another all-time high, by the way, because CME future for Ethereum just hit 7.85 billion in open interest. So that's all-time high. What does this mean? Basically, it means institutions are betting big on Ethereum's future. Like future market now has serious weight, especially from CME, because mostly is used by traditional people, like TradFi people, like banks and stuff. So it's not just like a retail casino, all I'm saying. And then spot ETH price and futures price are heavily correlated. When institutions go long on future, it drives real ETH demand. So maybe because like at the end of the day, this is like future. So it's not like actual Ethereum that they're trading. But when retail see news like this, and they might get the signal that, oh, like TradFi, they're going all in on Ethereum, and that might send like more bullish signs to retail. So that's highly beneficial. Yeah, that's good stuff. So ETH is surging. I'm quite bullish, and hopefully we'll turn this like $4,000 into a support level. So right now we're still doing like it's acting like a resistance line, but like hopefully when we pass that, we can stay above here a little bit and really build some support and turn that 4,000 into a support line instead of a resistance line. So that's what I want to see. All right, so that's good stuff. That's Ethereum. Let's also move on to the White House. What have we got here? That's really something, I'll say. So on 30th of July, which means in just a few days, the White House is coming out to have this like crypto report. What's the report gonna be? Well, gonna be about. So it will release its long-awaited crypto policy report on 13th of July. The report is expected to lay out regulatory and legislative recommendations on stablecoins, market structure, oversight, and consumer protection. While details remain limited, because it's not out yet, right? The report may also include proposals for a national digital asset stockpile and a strategic Bitcoin reserve. So that's why people are so anticipating what will happen. Is it going to be like extremely bullish, or it's going to be another buy the rumor, sell the news event? If they are just like repeating old talking points, what they have said before, or repeating the Genius Act, then might be not as bullish as some people thought. I don't know, maybe some sell off. But it really depends what they're gonna say. But crypto Twitter, they are wild about this. Like they really, of course, like I'm one of them. Like I really hope that there's gonna be like a national digital asset reserve. They'll be really bullish. And obviously we have the Genius Act. So stable coins like USDC and USDT will finally get like a clear federal level rule. So that's something. And maybe banks might be forced to allow crypto companies access to payment rails. Like finally, like banks, I don't know about your country, but right now in Hong Kong, some of them they're still not very friendly, and you might still get a call from the banks about some crypto activities. So that's not nice. And then yeah, so if you guys, I'm saying I need to like inform you about this news, because in the next few days, in the next 2 days, there will be like more volatility because leading up to this like White House crypto report. So if you're trading this, just prepare for volatility, adjust your strategy. Don't go all in on one hype, because like if it turns out to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event, I remember this vividly because like I was watching Dogecoin when Elon Musk was on that TV show, like Saturday night, what was it called? And basically that entertainment show. So he was there talking about Dogecoin, and we saw Dogecoin drop from all-time high of 70 something cents to basically a massive sell-off. So that's the last thing we want. So if you're trading around this time, like 30th of July, just have a backup plan, set a stop loss, and ready to pivot anytime. Whether it's like a game changer or just government PR, volatility is definitely guaranteed. All right, so moving on, last but not least, since this is my first time going live on YouTube, and if this is your first time seeing my face on here, do please help me to subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate this little help to my tiny channel. And at the same time, here's my Rumble. I'm pretty new on Rumble, so I'm still learning the culture, the SEO, the algorithm. So if you have any tips, do let me know. If you have any recommendation how I could improve this show, of course, let me know as well. And yeah, that's